Hola and welcome to Anfield Road TV. What's happening, Jack? We're here just before the Euro final. I know England doing it, and I support the team that's not in England, by the way.
Hola, Kev.
Hola. Sorry, my sunglasses on. It's really sunny here in Spain.
I'd say sadly we're not sponsored by Magic tonight. Unlucky. But yeah, no. But there might be just a big match on tonight anyway. But Kev, everyone, hope you're all well. Hope you're all been keeping well and looking forward to it. I'm looking for the new season, Kev.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to new season. I take these after. I know it's a bit bright. But it's new season, new times, new fun times, new season, new management, new style. I've been watching the behind the scenes and the inside training there.
It's a bit mad, isn't it?
It's good tactics though, like peripheral vision for the force the keepers to learn to turn their head to make it natural. All this kind of stuff is pretty good. There's a lot of stuff there. I just think I think he's doing early days. He's teaching them the habits that he did at most of his clubs. And these are habit trends. So he's instilling these new habits in them so that they don't resort to their old habits of not running, of not tracking, of not looking, of not turning the head. It's almost teaching them how to do what players like Messi and Thiago and McAllister and all of these kind of players do. Because if you watch these guys in the pitch, the heads are constantly going. They mightn't be running too much, but the heads are always going because they know what's happening all around them. And I think that's what it instills in them with all of these guys. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at Liverpool.
Yeah, it's taking them out, as you said there, mate. And chat, get your comments in. Let us know how your week's been or what you're doing this weekend anyway. And you are enjoying the football as well. What else Kev sorts of announced anyway? Get your comments in. And yeah, I think that might be a couple of England fans getting in anyway, Kev, there. Put your sunglasses back on. Yeah, in terms of, as you said there, Kevin, and just it's about trying to get them out of the habit in which we had under Jurgen Klopp, obviously stylistically, whether that be from a tactical point of view, habits in training as well. We have good habits, but sometimes we have probably, as Pep Guardiola, he's such a master in training that how crazy he is in training, the intensity. I think every great side, Kev, the intensity starts from on the training pitch as well. Even the Liverpool sides in the 70s and 80s, fundamentally, yes, bringing in all the great players, but it was what was instilled on the training pitch every single week, every single season, whether that be in the league season and of course in European football as well. It starts on the training pitch, and it'll go straight into.
Sorry, now, Jack. 1 second. Dos sangria there, por favor, senor. Thank you. Cheers. Sorry.
Go ahead, lad.
Just Jack. Sorry, lads, it's really sunny here in Spain at the moment, sir.
There we go. Avens, how are we, lads? Jack and Kev. Avens, hope you had a good week, mate. Let us know what you're doing, who you're supporting. I know
he's got it. His armband said he was all right, Torres.
Sadly, Torres isn't playing up front, but you've got a little certain Yamal up front. I'll tell you what a player he is.
I'd love to see him.
I think he's got a crazy buyout anyway. But in terms of instilling that mentality in the training pitch, Kev, I think relating it back to obviously the transfer windows. Obviously, I haven't done a show in probably about a week or two, but you know me, Kev, as I said on the videos a couple of weeks ago, I'll do a video over one, but I've been in a YouTube game for 7-8 years now. Yeah. It's just the same cycle after cycle after cycle. The same articles get drawn up after, like from 2 years ago. It's like, oh, we've been linked to this player.
Quality over quantity, Jack.
Yeah, no, we haven't. Like sometime, maybe this season, maybe in this window, there might be a certain position, Kevin, and chat that we might not be able to sort. And for as annoying as that is for all of us, we'd love to. But if the reality comes where there's an area of the pitch for Liverpool that we can't, fundamentally, it's about what we brought Arne in with. Obviously, Hughes spoke about in the press conference a couple of weeks ago. On the training pitch, developing certain players and just improving on what you've got. I know there's people, Liverpool fans out there screaming about that, and I have done in a couple of seasons gone by, but it's a new manager, new ethos, new developments. It's all fresh, new ideas. So it's about developing from within certain elements.
Yeah, 100%. Like you have to see that. What's that old saying goes? Another man's something is on. I forgot where it goes, but it'll come to me in a minute. But it's take Darwin Núñez for a thing. We know there's a player inside. Look at how good he's playing at Copa America. Look what he's able to do. He started a run. Somebody complained about him missing a shot the other night. I don't know who it was. I seen a couple of them on Twitter. But he started to move from the defence, got up the pitch, intertwined twice with people, got to the edge. While he's on the run, turned after being knackered, and then just barely got it over the bar. And somebody was saying, that's typical Darwin. It's just, he was from, that's a scenario you don't complain about. If he was doing that and he wasn't doing anything in the game and he received the ball and he turned, he's good. But look, he could come good under Slot. No, I'm not saying that he did like terribly bad under Klopp. I mean, I've seen Peter Crouch do worse on the Klopp. I've seen Andy Carroll do worse. I see in Liverpool. What am I saying? The Klopp. I've seen Peter Crouch do worse in a Liverpool shirt. I've seen Andy Carroll do worse in a Liverpool shirt coming in with big bucks. You know, I've seen there was loads. What was the man's name? The fellow who gave the ball away at Chelsea to cause the counter attack and the Gerrard slip. What was his name? Not Asprey, yeah. It was the fellow Aspas. That's it. So yeah, there's been all of these guys. You know, we've had Bernini, we've had Balotelli, we've had there's been more bad strikers doing stuff with Liverpool or wingers than you see. And this guy comes in and he's scoring 15 to 18 goals and making a lot of assists. I'm okay with that at the start of his career. I mean, it took 19 games for Crouch to get his first goal, and and then he came good for a period of time, but it never suited Liverpool, or it never suited his style. I have to wait until we see what Núñez is on. So Slot likes to play to players like Núñez, who like being kind of a lone front man or a lone wide man. And I think Gakpo will thrive under Slot. I think Núñez will thrive under Slot. I even think that you might see more if he's not shipped out. Carvalho might actually do something under Slot.
Yeah, the door's wide. Yeah. The door's wide open, Kev, and like for everyone in that squad, whether that's Pachetti, Carvalho, as Kev said there. Even saying, I think I'm so excited to see Jerome Kwanzaa. Seen some training videos of him today. He's still not even 21 years old, and he's already an absolute full-on unit of a man. And he's a very talented footballer at the back as well. So there's so much to be positive of. And relating it back to Núñez, Kev, obviously my thought about Núñez last season that I was banging my head against the fridge or whatever service you want anyway, like we all were. But I think this season, I understand whatever camp you are in, there's very much a mixed bag, to say the least, in the Liverpool fan base at the minute. But I'd concur with you, Kev, in relation to it's a new manager. I think if I go back 6 months ago, if Jurgen Klopp didn't announce his obviously departure 12 months ago, then I could be saying something different. But it's all exciting. I look at Gakpo as well. You know me, Kev, I'm one of the most staunched backers of Cody Gakpo. And I get where frustrations lie with certain fans in relation to Cody Gakpo, his certain movements. But yet again, he's come from the Dutch league. Núñez come from, obviously, the Portuguese league, adapting well. For me, I watched in that tournament, Gakpo was more or less the only man leading that Holland side into the semi-finals of the Euros. I fell for Cody when that ball went into the back end of the net anyway, because I think he deserved at least a chance of getting a trophy in this tournament anyway, just gone. But yeah, it's all fresh impetus, fresh ideas, different philosophy. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see Liverpool go into next season in certain moments this season or the years to come, play with two strikers and then play with two orthodox wingers as well. Put Salah a bit more wider, put Lucho in the position in which we did see at Porto, Kev, because there's so much adaptability and there's so much quality within this squad. And going back to the point you said at the top of the show, Kev, in terms of trading, in terms of players getting on the swivel, in terms of getting those half spaces, breaking the line as well. Fundamentally, for the new Arne Slot era, I want to see a bit more impetus in terms of a more defensive structure, be a lot more difficult to be in terms of getting got at, and then that ability to very much counter-attack. The very best of Jurgen Klopp, I'd say, Kev, in terms of if Arne can get that right balance be one of the most difficult teams to beat.
Yeah.
And then just springing. Because you mentioned Darwin Núñez, Kev. That chance you're alluding to, that Kev, this week in the Copa America, like that's what Núñez does best. He's one of the quickest players in the whole of Europe. He's a nightmare for defenders. And everyone goes, but that's the last thing in Núñez's game that he needs to sort. He's doing everything.
Anybody who's complaining about him going, are people that I know we're all Liverpool fans. I know we are, but there's some absolute melts out there, man, and they don't know what they're talking about. They just live for the transfer window, and if they don't see signings coming in, they disappear for the rest of the. Man, I know a few of them specifically myself, and I like the guys when I see him face to face. But then when it talks about football, I just don't want to hear from him. You know, it's that kind of way, and that's over here. So, like, for me, it's. You know, if these guys come in and they complain the most on Twitter, they complain the most on that, and then they say nothing when the season starts. It's done. There's no more hearing from them unless somebody makes a bad miss or they do something stupid, and then they say, I told you so about that person. And I'm like, where are you for the last 3 months when he was scoring like 10 goals or something, you know? So it's there's a lot of stuff, man. Like, exactly, Dave. He has to see the stories. There's a lot of assessment going to go on. You know, he could come in and do what he did at Feyenoord and just buy 17 players. But he knows he's got the quality already at Liverpool that he can work with, and he'll have seen in the first early days now what he's seen there. So he had really, instead of assessing the main guys, he's had time to assess some of the youth at the moment now, right? So he knows who he, in his eyes by now nearly, who's good enough to stay around, who's good enough to be shipped out, who's good enough to back up the main guys. Then he'll see the main guys and just see where they're at, and then he'll start making moves. I think, so.
As you said there, Kev, and all of us were not naive to the point. There might be, get to Justin's great comment there as well. Chat, keep on getting your comments in terms of there might be one standout position. I think we can all just, sorry to jump ahead, Justin, but you mentioned the DM. It's clear. But we'll get to that question as well. But going back to the point that I said before, develop the likes of Bajcetic. What's the whole point of bringing these young players in to your academy, spending multi-millions on an academy facility? Alex Hilgenthorpe, one of the best in the business at the minute in terms of the way in which he articulates himself, the way in which he is vision under Jurgen Klopp as well. Stevie Iway, obviously the academy.
They create the attitude behind the scenes, man.
Yeah, one of the main scouts. That's what you need fundamentally at any great football club. I know for what City have been doing, but in terms of their hierarchy, the ex-Barcelona chief scout or the head fella, Taxa, whatever his name is, he's very good at what he does in terms of bringing in the structure, and we've certainly got that, Kev, haven't we? But we'll get to David's comments as well. Big up to mate. Massive thank you and welcome to anyone that is new tuning in tonight. If you are watching on the repeat, do drop us a like, drop a subscribe as well. Do get your comments in, and we will feature them on if you're commenting after the video has gone out live. Me and Kev or whoever the lads are on will read through your comments, and if there's any questions, we'll pose it to the channel as well. But David, when Slot has seen players in roles he wants to play and assesses players, and if he wants a player he will buy in January, as no point bringing in new players as well, and its availability and the price tags as well. If we're getting quoted silly, overpriced, we're not a Manchester United. We're not a Manchester City where, yes, we generate revenue, but I think fundamentally in terms of the running of the football club, every Liverpool fan, as Kev said, it'd be great if we could sign every single player under the sun, but that's not how we do business. And everyone, all the rival fans will be going, oh, you brought in Van Dijk and Alisson Becker, but those rival fans don't understand that period of 12 months. We sold Coutinho. Yes, we didn't get guaranteed that money straight away, but it's the money.
That excited the hell out of me when Coutinho was playing with Salah and Mane and these guys. They just look so good. You know, stories there was a force, and then they just said if we got a right striker in, because the proper striker in, because of you know, I know Bobby was there, but Bobby hadn't adapted to his role yet on the Klopp, where he was playing through that middle as a false nine kind of thing. You know, he didn't know what he was. He was playing in a multitude of places under Brendan Rodgers when he brought him in. But I would have loved to see what happened if we got if Bobby started playing in that role with Coutinho. He, like in that false nine role, he would have opened up Coutinho for a world of goals. Coutinho would have had a fantastic career at Liverpool if he stayed.
Yeah, 100%. queuing us perfectly in there, Kev. If anyone's not on social media or X or whatever, obviously he did join Vasco da Gamos. Apologies on the pronunciation for the Brazilians. But the Brazilian side, anyway, I think their badge looks a bit like a pirate flag or something anyway. But Phil, I don't think he's not unhappy. He's on plenty of millions anyway, but I think he would have liked to have seen his career pitted out really at a more bigger club in Europe or whatnot, but it wasn't to be anyway. But he's going back.
A lot of these players have whimpering out finishes to their careers, Jack, when they leave clubs that are, you look at Van Nistelrooy. I know he did well after United, with in the way he went, but nobody still has that excitement about him. Like when you have Gerrard and you've got these kind of players that stayed at their clubs a long time and stayed at the clubs that suited them the best, they'd have that. I think Ronaldo's tainted himself a small bit with United fans. You're always going to get a few of them that have done it, but the way he left the second time and really, really kind of disrespected the club in the way he was going, I think he's dropped down in the estimation, and this is a problem. You either overstay your welcome and just get remembered slightly fondly, or you become a legend. But if you leave and you're told,
you become a villain, don't you? Like
you become a villain, you become like you're going to clubs like Barcelona and stuff where they do appreciate their legends. They're very similar to Liverpool. They appreciate their legends as long as they've been legends at the club. Just because you came in for big money doesn't mean unless you become a legend status at Barcelona, you won't be remembered. Like, I don't think Neymar would be taught the same way at Barcelona as Suarez and Messi was, because of the way he tried to move his way out of there and stuff like that. It's just there's different players, no matter how big they are, they just won't be considered at the same standard as some other players that were in it. That probably almost did the same for the club.
Yeah, the ever-changing football and cycle we do find ourselves in. Football, probably another 20 years, it will lose. I think it was the Uruguayan coach, Bielsa, very passionate. I don't know if the translation was right, but what I gauge from the translation was more or less saying in 20 years' time, a lot more it'd be a lot more geared towards, and me and Kevin, and we've all done, every football fan done shows on this, geared to the more higher echelons of people that have got more money in football, and it's coming away from very much the roots, fundamentally, of what made football everyone's sport. Doesn't matter if you've got a lot of money, doesn't matter if you've not got a lot of money. Football unites people, it unites countries, it unites everyone, really, in the fundamental pitch, like onto the football pitch as well. And that's what it should be, and it is done, and it will continue to hopefully do that as well. But Justin, I would be excited if we get a DM, right winger, and a defender as well. Kev, straight into the DM market, mate. I think being away this week, when there was reports of Ugarte potentially going to Manchester United. Not 100% sold on that at the minute. I think it's silly season. You will have agents even bringing up. It won't even be Liverpool expressing interest. It'll be certain journalists putting Liverpool's title, and we know who the fella who we're all talking about. But yeah, it's unless Chelsea pay him off anyway, allegedly. But yeah, it's one of them. DM.
Can you still not do an Arsenal post while talking about Chelsea?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Cucurella deal made me laugh anyway. But it is what it is. The Brighton, but yeah. DM market, as Justin said there, Kev. I look at the DM market as if we can get this right, or we caveat that with developing Bajcetic, but getting that right balance in anyway. Thoughts?
Well, I don't think Bajcetic is a D. Maybe he can be converted that way, and I know we kind of slightly played him there at certain points, but he was more of like a Thiago replacement. He was studying what Thiago did, and he's more of an anchor player where he'll receive the ball a bit deeper as well as the DM. So he probably, in a way, you've already got McAllister in that position, and I'd like to see more of Bajcetic, but maybe try to see him more taking on Szoboszlai's position. If we're not going to move Trent forward into the midfield, then at least try Bajcetic where Szoboszlai is and make them both work for their place, to be honest with you, because even though Szoboszlai came in and started the season pretty well last season, he was poor for the rest of the season for me. I don't think he did enough. And in my opinion, if you're going to wear that number 8 shirt, it's been a bit tainted since Gerrard left it. So he needs to grab that shirt, and really roll with it. I need to see more from him. Maybe he was a bit burnt out because he was overworked a bit in the team when he did come in, but No, I'd like to see Bajcetic being given a chance at that. No, if Bajcetic can be converted to a DM, I know he was kind of
I think
slightly
he more or
playing that
less
role.
is seen as a DM.
Yeah,
He's
I
got the stature. He's got that Spanish flair. Hey,
yeah, he's more for me. He's more of an anchor player off a DM. You know, whereas I'd like to see McAllister further forward, but I if you're going to play a 3-box-3 or something like that, and you're not going to have Trent in the team, then you could easily have, or if Trent stays, you know, I don't know, I don't know what you do with him. But if Endo is going to be playing there again and we're not getting in a proper DM, I'm going to be slightly worried for next season. I like Endo. He can play really well in spells, but then, you know, he is, 31 or something, and
he's going to be a perfect rotation player, Kevin.
And when he's left on his own in the middle of that field, he can't. Well, if he's McAllister next to him or a Szoboszlai or a Trent, he can do okay. But the majority of the time, if you put an Elliott in there or and maybe if McAllister's not playing, you start to Jones. Endo is really isolated in the middle of that park because nobody comes back to really help him. So, you know, that's what I fear for him. I don't want to see any Endo in the team unless there's McAllister and Trent or Szoboszlai next to him. If there's anybody else in that position, he can be left a bit legless.
Endo's a perfect squad player, man. So I don't think any Liverpool fans will be very surprised if it comes 4 months in to the league season, Endo starting. But you never know. We've all been surprised. But the most important thing is Liverpool start winning on the pitch. And it doesn't regard whoever's on the pitch, as long as they're doing the business, then happy days. But as Justin said, as Kev's just alluded to there as well, getting the right momentum out of Bajcetic. He's still a young lad. Obviously, last year he was obviously decimated with injuries in terms of his body developing as well. In terms of, I think it was reports last year that he did grow quite a fair bit, a bit like Kate Gordon as well. That's all part of football anyway. I think a lot of social media world doesn't really take that into account. It's like, oh, why are they not starting? It's like they still got to develop, and especially if you shoot up 6 or 7 inches in terms of your height, in terms of developing. I think there's been plenty of interviews out there, famous players saying at the age of 19 to 21, they grew quite a lot and they had to take a time out of. That just was one of them.
Ramsey's one of those things as well. The young fella that came from Scotland, he grew over a summer, and all of a sudden, his joints didn't develop as much as well. So they had to wait. That's what the wait is, a waiting game with him as well. So there's a lot going on. But I'd like to see, as I told you, Jack, a long time, there's Yusuf Fofana or David Hanko that could be available if you wanted to bring somebody in that's not a big name but could still do the job and rotate with Taro, those guys. Ederson is another good shout.
Yeah, Justin's put his.
I'm not on the page.
That's right. He's put Ederson
and Kudus from West Ham as well. Justin said.
I've loved Kudus.
Oh, he said as well. Yeah, it's called Kudus and Ederson as well. Defender, Euro, DM1. Yeah, it's good shouts. Yeah, they're good shouts. Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
The Euros must be linked between United and Madrid now, isn't it?
He's been Real Madrid. Yeah, Real Madrid wined and dined them anyway in terms of the Champions League final. Got him in the box and everything. So Real Madrid doing what they do with many Jude, Euro. Will be the next up and coming player. They'll do it as well. In terms of, we'll speak about right wingers, Kevin. I know. We've got a certain Elliott top right of the screen as well, chat. For me, when we literally slightly touched on it anyway, but in terms of, we spoke about Arne Slot, I think every Liverpool fan has how we're going to be playing Arne. He's already spoke about the way in which he wants to play. So already had to go at certain people saying that it was probably a bit about me and you, Kev, the way in which we've done our videos in the last 6 months. But what do we know? Anyway, but in terms of Harvey Elliott, Kev, I want to be seeing him a bit more in terms of that right wing department. I'd like to see if needs be, Salah a bit more in those central areas of the pitch. I think the first season under Jurgen Klopp, Salah was getting in so many of those positions, especially if he does get a new contract, Kev. But sticking it on Harvey Elliott this season, I think we've already had some very good seasons. I think last year come off the back of his probably most successful year to date in a Liverpool shirt for Harvey Elliott. But I think in terms of what he can do for Liverpool this season, I'd say apart from you take about the main players like the likes of Salah, like Szoboszlai and like a Virgil, if they can step up, I think Harvey, he'll thrive with the pressure. He's a Southern Scouser, he said himself. He's a massive Liverpool fan, but I'm excited to see Harvey, and I'm hoping, especially in those 10 positions or inside forwards or whatever Arne Slot wants to call them anyway, I think this fella can play an instrumental role, and I'm hoping we do see this season be his, not breakout season, but his first proper season.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough for Elliot because when he tucks inside of it too much, he can bring a lot of pressure on us from the middle of the park, and it can tend to get in the way of what Nunes and Salah try to do. But I'd like to see Elliot as well up in that ring, up in that wing. But it's very hard to try and take Salah out of that position, man. And maybe Arne Slot will if Salah doesn't step up this season, and he does have kind of like he's on an off season that he kind of did last season. Slot mightn't have the patience for that, and he might just start pulling him and rotating with Harvey, So
that's what we said 2 weeks ago, Kev. We said Arne Slot's there to win football games.
Yeah.
We know the pressure of our fan base as well that puts on managers pre-Jurgen Klopp. We had 30-odd years in the wilderness in the Premier League of managers coming in and not quite getting over in terms of getting that first Premier League anyway. But as well, but carry on there, Kev. Sorry, but
no, you're grand. It's even more Salah. You look at the amount of attempted take-ons he tried to do last season, and I don't know about you, but when I was watching him, I felt like that every time he tried to take somebody on, he was either over marked or he didn't have the same movement style that he did when you'd see him normally taking people on with the drag foot and whatever like that. It was almost as if like it was a stutter movement and then just not enough done for me. And I'm hoping that he's sharp. I'm hoping it's just because of the African combinations that slowed him down. I'm hoping it's the injury that slowed him down and that he's off back to the same old Salah. Because if that's the case, then I don't have to worry about anybody else battling for his place.
We all want a skinhead Salah. Chat. Full on Vin Diesel or Arne Slot, whatever you want to call Salah this season. If Skinhead Mo, that screams easy 30 goals, probably potentially touching 40 anyway. Yeah. But he's already frightening at the best, Kev, as he alluded to. All his great attributes. But and even Elliot in that 10 position. The most important thing, I think we all, every Liverpool fan, when we look at the pre-season videos and the games as well, we will get a glimpse. I think we all remember that first season under Jurgen. Well, when he come in midway through the season, and we remember that Tottenham game, and you seen that like it was literally a flick of a switch. Instantaneously, it was a whole different way of thinking, the way in which the players reacted on that pitch. Alberto Moreno bombing down the pitch. It's like, hang on. Our fullbacks tend to not do that, but Moreno obviously is like lad knocking Man United out in the Europa League final a couple of seasons ago. And like
get out.
Sorry. But yeah, you see those glimpses, and I'm hoping that is the case.
Yeah,
we're all gonna get on the Arne Slot thing, and I honestly can't. I've seen a video, Kev, don't you see in the chat as well this week? It was going round of Arne Slot pissed himself watching Anthony crawl on the floor. I think it was a Feyenoord Ajax game, or was it? He's just laughing his head off at the fidget spinner, just crawl on his backside and cry.
Because as much you seen the dude trying to drag on Arne Slot at the side of the sideline as well when he was trying to go around him, and he didn't move, not even an inch. It was like an immovable object at the side of the pitch. So yeah, he seems like, if you annoyed him, he could throw a few slaps at you and knock you through a brick wall. So
I keep on saying he's the full-on scout star, lad. Like my dad's bald. There's plenty of scout stars out there that are bald. Nothing wrong with being bald. But it's a hallmark of a scout star being
he's
bald.
Personable. I know how charismatic the Klopp was, and I think I think his charisma is what's going to be missed the most from the club. Not so much the latter stages of the football, but I mean, we still would have loved Klopp to stay on, and we still, but then I think, as much as we were going to miss him and say goodbye, we got to say this kind of long goodbye to him, and it was good. But, we knew that we needed some changing in there for the last couple of seasons. We knew that we needed some refreshment in there. Not as in, move the manager, but at least change tactics or do something. And, it just came down to the fact that the manager was maybe too tired to even do that himself. So it was a perfect timing for both parties, So for me, as long as I see Arne Slot play some good attacking football and drop back into that 4-4-2 defensive unit when we're on defense and quickly, then I'll be happy. You know, I don't have to worry about fellas tracking back. I don't have to worry about anything. If anything, as good as Trent is, this is why I'm desperately wanting to see him to move him to the midfield because
I'm sorry there, lad. I don't want to cut across, but we'll do plenty of shows in the build-up this season, mate. I just want to see Trent play right back, mate. I think we've had
a bombing right back, but if he's kept there,
if we can sort that DM and we can sort that midfield to actually do its job properly and just not even the likes of McAllister or Endo, whoever plays DM or in that midfield, where it's a 2-on-3 every single week, like we had with Henderson and Fabinho the last season they had under at Liverpool. But I just want to be seeing Trent playing because he was renowned. He was the best attacking fullback in world football for the space of
if we go back to the 5-man charge in midfield when we're going on the attack, I want to see Robbo and Trent are two of the best at it. The problem is we haven't done that properly for the last few seasons. When was the last time that you saw Trent bombing past Mo on the wing, crossing the ball? He keeps tucking inside. He's there now, drifting along, and then it becomes too compact in the middle. And there's a lot of so that kind of ever since after the year we won the league and then we started getting the dip. They've dropped off. They've tucked in a bit. They've changed the defensive line, and I don't think it's suited Robbo and Trent. I think
we've sacrificed what we've done best, and that was getting the best. Fundamentally, they were our two most influential players in our system alongside.
They were the most dangerous. They were hitting 13 or 14 assists each. That's nuts, and you can't go off it. The problem is Klopp noticed there was gaps happening, and he didn't have the right centre backs. There was never anybody available, but that's because also the drop off from Fabinho and stuff like that. But when you see this happening, then maybe okay, but still try not to sacrifice our attacking game to worry about the defending game, and I think that's where it kind of caught up with Lavis Moore in a little bit, where he started worrying too much about trying to get defensively sound, that he wasn't. We were still getting overrun in the wing backs positions, from lads coming in with crosses, grabbing it to the edge of the box, somebody there for a tap in all the time. It was poor. But if we do play that system where it's, as you say, Gertrude for Feyenoord, the way he played for thing, and then bombed up the wings and then did what he had to do, then Trent is your guy. He's all day long. But if he's not doing that and he's doing like a 4-3-3 proper sit-in with no runners, then I don't know. I'd like to see Trent at least being on the right hand side of inside for the sacrifice for Sabazz, because I think Trent's got a better right foot in the passing game.
It'd be so refreshing if Arne Slot just comes in and goes, Trent, sorry lads, you're going back to where you were the best right back in world football. Even you've had legends of Brazil, the Cafus and the Roberto Carlos was waxing lyrical about Trent and Robbo playing fullbacks as well. Big up there, Charlie. Yeah, man.
When he talks, I'm over. Hola, Charlie. I'm over here at the moment,
big up Charlie, big up Justin, big up David, big up Eamon, big up anyone that is tuning in tonight. Probably going to go for another 10 minutes, and then obviously we'll be doing another show tomorrow. I'll have a little word with Kev, but we'll certainly be consistent. We'll set up a shows as well. And if I can't do a show, certainly Kev can do a show on the channel as well.
Hola, amigos.
But yeah, it's going to be a busy season. Looking forward to it. Kev, well, as we know, we'll be going to the show. So hopefully on Kev's channel as well, but he could do a little segment on Anfield Road TV, whatever's easiest as well.
That's why I only mostly do watch-alongs on my channel anyway, Jack. Yeah. I don't do proper shows, so I can do shows on here.
So plenty for the new season as well. Chat. And as I said, don't get, I know we all, as Kev alluded to at the top of the show, we all love transfers. Certainly we do. But I think it's like 7th or 8th year of being on YouTube. I used to love me videos, and hence why that's where a lot of me subscribers come from. So shout out if anyone sorry, I don't do me regular. I used to do about 2 transfer window shows a day. When I was actually had a rocket up my backside. But it takes a lot out of you. But as I said, the same recycled nonsense in certain elements gets recycled in transfer windows, and that's it. But as Kev's just having a look at Charlie's comment there, not looking forward to to ticket sales on Wednesday. Charlie, Kev, obviously, pre you getting those tickets at Anfield. Every Liverpool fan, I'd love to sit down with someone at Liverpool. This would be my biggest concern. in terms of just come on, like everyone pays for those memberships, and whether you get 1 game or 2 game, like it doesn't matter. Like people are paying for the service of wanting to try and log on to your system and your website, and it crashes every single season, Kev. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for a club that gets multi-millions off fans or probably going to the billions over the space of what, probably about a 10, 20-year period or whatnot. It's all the fans should deserve is a proper functioning website and something that facilitates their needs of trying to get a ticket and not getting booted out. And then you caveat that with ticketing websites, buying up all the tickets and then reselling them on for extortionate prices.
Yeah, I know. I'm in total agreement because, lads, if anybody doesn't know, I am a hospitality ticket.
Everyone knows, Kev.
No, but I'm telling them because I mean I'm in the same boat with them. I'm a normal fan that has to buy a hospitality ticket to get a seat because I'm from Ireland. I know a lot of other lads are in my position and they deserve seats. But then you have these corporations coming in that have no interest in the football club except for the odd sponsorship or something like that, and they get a few seats. Bloody YouTubers have nothing to do with the club getting seats in there and getting gifted ticket seats, and which is grand. But they're not Liverpool fans. That's my point, Jack. I see a fella there that goes around and there's a multiple chance to do away days content and stuff like that, and then they're getting seats, but they're been giving them for free. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff, and then there's people that have nothing to do with the sport at all are getting them, and there's all of these kind of things. Kev the Tory. No, dude, it's not mine personally. There's a few of us involved in the seats, and we go over for our allocation of games between us. But it's there's no way, because these tickets are 21 grand a year for 3 seats, dude. I can just be straight up front with you, and there's like 9 of us involved in it just to get our games for the seats. So that's
don't worry, Charlie, about me words with Kevin here. So I was thank you, Kev, for going, but it wasn't for me.
It's a different thing.
It's a different
thing. Yeah, once you get out there, the stand is great and the atmosphere is great and all of that. But inside, it's the lounge area and it's just a bit posher than the normal one, to be honest with you. But I don't know. But like for me,
predictions, Everest. Why are you even asking us? Even people in the comments, even people on the post match as well. The only person I'll be happy for in this sort of England squad will be Trent. Fundamentally, I'll be made up of Trent, and if he can score the winner, then sound great. But yeah, viva la España. Yeah, carry on. Charlie, I know maybe I got last.
3-1 España, viva España, vamos!
But yeah, it's gonna be exciting though, lads and ladies as well. Everyone going to the season, new ideas, fresh ideas, new players hopefully coming in, and everyone once the Euros finishes tonight, you'll see a lot more of the ramping up of a lot more of the business. And I think there's the video being kept on. Pretty sure he's all watched anyway, chat. I give my shout outs to Mark Gahey. I think he was my player. I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago. Me and Kev done our shout outs to players. Kev's big player is Hanko. Wouldn't surprise me if he does come to Liverpool. He's getting a well-earned rest after a big season.
Because he's a James Milner type player, but he's got a lot more to his game.
He understands clock football.
Football. And he plays DM. He plays left centre back. He plays left centre back. He plays left back. He plays left wing back. And he can also play an anchor player. He's a very good player, gifted player.
Yeah, but Mark Gahey, I said this like 2 years ago when I've done plenty of shows on this, lads. If England do go on to win, congratulations to Gahey and the England lads as well. His stock will very much rise a bit more. But I think we have seen already in the tournament, Gahey's probably, for me, when I've watched the games, he's been one of the most standout players in that England system. I know it's the way in which they play, but I think Gahey certainly, a bit like Mitchell at Palace as well, certain players in that Palace system as well really stand out and develop even more.
They do, yeah.
Okay.
It was the guy that we were linked with there last year as well from Crystal Palace. I know there was. I'd like to see Mark Gahey come in, but the DM was it?
Is it?
No, not the DM.
Corey.
The Corey. Just the Corey. Yeah, I think it was last second or something. It fell through.
That fizzled out.
Fizzled out or something. Anyway, yeah. I don't know. It's look, Gahey. I would straight away like he's a good defender. He's always available. is a no-brainer for me. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Joe Gomez in this team. I loved the Joe Gomez we got last season. It was like back to 2019, 2020 Joe Gomez there, and 2018, 2019 Joe Gomez, when we went on that run in the Champions League and lost out just to Real Madrid with that weird final. And but I don't know what would happen with Joe. Like, what could you do with him? Would you keep him on as a third choice? I mean, Matip is gone now. What's happening to Vandenberg? Is he going to be developed more? Because he's had a good season.
Once he doesn't give any more interviews out, it'll be sound.
He just wants to force his hand. He's probably been advised by his agent, force your hand, say you want out, or say you want to go and you want to play football, and see what the deal is. But
agents.
I agree with Charlie, by the way. I think there's a lot of work done already.
Yeah. One's been there, Charlie. I'd say we've not been covering the Skelly news chat. Not even going to pronounce his full name. The fellow at Napoli, the Georgian lad.
Skelly, yeah.
His agent is an absolute menace. And we've seen it with certain players when they've been even Seth Vandenberg. His agent in recent weeks, chat and bear absolute waffle, the silly sausage. It could be one of them. Could just be his agent speaking out, Seth Vandenberg. If we can get 5-10 million, then great. But if he stays at Liverpool and he develops and he performs well, then certainly his future's in his own hands as long as he puts in the work, in the hard work anyway. Big up there, Jen. Nice one, lad. Big up, Kevin, Jack. Jen, what an absolute picture that is. What a picture that is, mate. That's sound, that lad. Happy days. Arne Slot. Evolution as well. Jen, hope you're well, mate, and hopefully you're all well, chat. We will be live tomorrow for anyone that's just tuning in and rewatching it on the repeat. We will be live at 6:30 p.m. UK time, GMT as well, Everest. And last time we spoke, Everest, I think you said you went for a job interview. Hopefully that went well, mate, but keep at it, la. You'll get one sorted soon, but congratulations. Hopefully you've got one sorted, mate. Villa doing good business. 50 million for the Onana, is it? Oh, don't get me started on Villa, Everton, and that band of crowd, really. They're all patting each other on the back going, FFP, load of my backside. Have you been keeping up to date with that, Kev?
No.
The more buying the more buying academy players for over crazy.
Oh, that's just the sort of funds, because Villa are getting looked at no very soon as well.
Yeah.
There's no point. I'm looking at it. I'm trying to pronounce that dude's name. What was his name again? What country does he play for?
Georgia.
Georgia, that's who it was.
Skelia. I'll just call it little.
Skelia, yeah. I don't pronounce his name.
Scavazzi.
Georgia.
Yeah. No, no more.
Kvarat, that's why I couldn't do it. There was a K at the front of it. Yeah, Napoli, that's who it was. Yeah. Good player, though.
If I'm him, I'm staying at Napoli anyway. I know it's off track anyway, but yeah, I'd say for him and Di Lorenzo as well, and the other lad that was potentially even Osimhen, you're getting Conte, and wouldn't surprise me if Conte wins the league with Napoli next season.
Yeah.
Because that squad won the league 2 years ago, so there's a lot of these agents. Yeah, they are, mate. They are, Jen. Agents are the rats of the beautiful game. 100% there, Charlie. All right, guys. I'm being published yet, so I'm crossing. Fingers crossed, Everest. Fingers crossed, lads. Fingers crossed for Spain. Chat. Kev, any closing thoughts on this evening? I know we spoke a bit. Oh, quickly, yeah, we'll spend 5-10 minutes on. Was on the agenda. Darwin Núñez, lads. I don't know if you've seen it. Like, that was an absolute joke. Chat, if you didn't see it this week, the security in and around the Uruguayan family section in the stadium was an absolute utter disgrace. Well, no security. And Núñez, quite rightly so. People might say, oh, his actions are a bit over the top, but
not just his actions, but the whole team.
I think for anyone in that situation, if you've got your family members or in the crowd, you're going to do exactly what Darwin Núñez does, protecting his family, protecting his little kid as well. And it's just the karma ball. I think Bielsa lost his absolute, which you can understand. He was frustrated. But you'd think a tournament that big, Kev, especially in America and Canada and where it's getting situated, the tournament, it was an absolute utter disgrace.
Oh, absolutely. Like, even if any of them get fined, it's a disgrace. even a fine, to be honest with you, because their family should have been protected. Who puts their families next to Colombian fans without a barrier in between, without a break? They could just walk across and attack them. I mean, they didn't think it through. I mean, it was held in America, wasn't it? This part. It was in the US and this one.
I think so.
Yeah, so they just don't care. They were just saying, all South Americans, just bang them all together. It's all right. You know, there's no offense, but it's the American mentality when it comes to South American people. So, and they don't care. So they'll just put in the host, they'll just make sure all the safety issues are done and all that around, and then that's it. They'll just get on with it. But what Darwin Núñez and all of them should have done after that, because they were so angry and they didn't realize that when they protected their families and they brought them onto the pitch, they should have walked up to whoever the organisers were and where they stand on the pitch, and they should have shouted at them, pointed at them, they should have done whatever, because that shouldn't have happened. And then you know, the businessmen in the suits would have been held accountable for their laziness rather than the guys who see their families getting bottles thrown at them and getting punches and thrown at kids and wives and daughters. They were hitting women and children, man. You know, you can't do that. Like, that's not men, they're cowards.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's a psychological impact as well on anyone in that family section as well. Like, you probably might certain sections of the families as well might not go to football games as well, which is absolute disgrace, because these footballers are making their families proud, they're making their fans, making their nations proud as well. So, yeah, hopefully there's some repercussions really for the Copper tournaments as well. But typical FIFA, Kev, like you look at it, it's just poor organisation, and it's not the first time like a big organisation has bottled it anyway in terms of. Like Liverpool, like that Paris final was an absolute joke. Or like these people get paid more.
But at least they're getting done for it. That's the difference. Yeah, so they're getting done for it now, which that's good. So now these other organizations, they should also get done for it. And to be honest with you, if I was the families of the Uruguayan team, I'd be suing for the safety. Yeah, I'd be suing. I'd be doing whatever. I'd be taking up legal counsel. I'd be doing the whole bloody lot to ensure that it never happens again. Because it's great getting the butts in the seats and sorting this out, but there's a massive sale. You don't do that. Like the Colombians are notoriously known for being the way they are in history. I think they even shot one of their own players as fans. You know, it's nuts. So you can see it's just the way it is. You know, in that neck of the woods, it's always been that kind of on the edge kind of fan base.
It's passionate people, as we know in football.
But there's passionate with stupidity as well, you know, and alcohol and you know, we know it. We see it around the place. You could say, right, let's say we see that as a different kind of section of the world or whatever like that. But you look at England fans when they go away sometimes and they're fighting all the time and getting drunk all the time. It's the same thing. You just know what fan base to keep separate from other fan bases. Simple as that.
From the organisational point of view, it's not that hard. Literally get 100 police officers or like create a barrier.
Yeah.
It's like you see it in the Premier League. There's like a barrier of like plastic or like netting or like a high netting. And just, but it's as he said, but it
happened. Look, there's a few fans around the place that are always liked when they go away. I'm not going to boast because I'm Irish, but Irish fans are one of the most liked fans in the world. Swedish fans are like most places. Even the Dutch fans. So to egg up the Dutch fans, like those English lads last week, must have done a hell of a lot to do it, like, because I mean the lads must have been drunk and feeling they must have just rubbed it in a bit too much for that to happen. There's a lot that's going on, man, and it's always involving the same fans. Sometimes it's even the English fans get blamed wrongly because of certain other fan groups, but it still does come down to knowing what fan base triggers other fan bases or gets them going, and you have to keep the segregation there.
Yes, it's a sad side of football, sadly, for the whole world anyway, really.
Even that chair, Gary, I don't think you should, whatever, but that's just pure anger. If he gets a fine, you should get a fine from the US government as like an arrestable fine or something like that, because it's a kind of an act of violence used a weapon. I'd agree with that because it's just that, but it shouldn't be anything to do with the football guys. They should stay out of it because, you know, they didn't protect their families in the first place. I would have walked up there, I would have smacked everybody, and then I would have walked up to the box and I would have smacked them too. So yeah, it's as simple as that.
Núñez went to war for his family. I think everyone would do.
But it's all the thing is the agenda against Núñez. There's a massive agenda against Darwin Núñez, and I'm not saying that as a Liverpool fan.
I wouldn't care. Our fan base as well, there is an agenda against.
You know, I didn't back up Suarez when he was biting people. I said that was disgraceful. I said he's a great footballer. I love him as a footballer. It's disgraceful. You know, I won't go into the thing that happened with Patrice Evra, but he didn't say the word that Patrice said. He said a different word because because my wife is South American and they all talk like that down there, so it's meant to be a term of endearment. Anyway, we get over that. He was dealt with, he was done for it anyway. But but when it comes down to Nunez or whatever like that, man, you can't just start singling at one player because he looks the more aggressive. All the other lads were jumping over him and
Even
smacking punches as well. Bench was up. He's just he's the most famous person in the team at the moment, playing at one of the biggest clubs at the moment there. So they're going to focus, and he's the feistiest. So they're just going to focus in on him. It's an agenda.
Yeah, it's so hopefully in the future, in the Copa final, hopefully the final has got proper security on Brazil. That should be a good final. Hopefully it's not. I think all of us, every Liverpool fan that woke up in the morning, seen the videos and literally Nunez and just Uruguay was trending. I was like, oh my Lord. You don't want to be seeing that. You want to be going to a game. For every football fan around the world, you go there with your family. Most important thing at any football game is the safety of every single football fan around the world. That should be the priority, going to a football game as well, most importantly. But yeah.
How are they still getting this wrong, Jack? It's been going back to the time since before.
No, it's just, it goes...
Hillsborough, before all of these disasters that have happened, and they still haven't gotten it right with the safety issues.
It's just the people in charge of big organisations, quite frankly, not getting the preparation prepared.
Who's safety officer? Safety officer should be front and centre. The captain of the police or whoever the guy that was running the highest ranking officer of that day from the police department that was at that stadium should be front and centre answering these questions in front of people. Because the police are supposed to segregate them, not just the stewards.
Yeah, it's the safety of every fan that should be the priority for regardless of the football getting played on the pitch. But yeah, it just goes to these people running UEFA, FIFA, Premier League, whatever you want to call it, Champions League, UEFA and everything. The top people get paid multi-millions a year to just do their job properly. And when it's fundamentally failing the people like in the stadium and people out and in around and everything, but the people aren't getting sacked in the jobs. But it is what it is. Going into tomorrow's show, we will find out who's won the big game tonight. Might be drinking a bit of Madri or whatnot anyway. Kev, score prediction. Jack, get your score predictions in for the big game tonight. What do you reckon?
England have the capability to get a game to extra time, but then they have the ability to lose penalty. Although they did win with penalties the other day, I can see that the commentators are trying to wish that hoodoo off themselves because they keep reverting to, we won a penalty shootout. That hoodoo is gone. Now it's gone. But I don't know. I think if Spain play the football that they normally play, I think they'll be too good for England. I think England's... the only time I've seen England good was the other night. It's the first time I've seen them playing actually okay. And even in that, they still in the second half weren't the better side. That's what the better side in the second half.
England have got pound for pound for quality-wise. They've got the best team in the competition by a country mile in terms of individual quality. For me, the way I look at it, like for man, you look at Foden, Bellingham, Saka, Kane, Rice when he's playing well, Mainu, who's been probably for me, I know he's a Man United player, but he's been an absolute joke this tournament at how good he has been. Mainu when he's only 18, which is crazy. Kane's another.
He's frustrating for a midfielder. It's very hard for midfielders to really get along with Kane because if you've got a creative midfielder that wants to pass the ball in an early ball over the top, Kane doesn't run. He comes in late into a box, or he runs into position later, he does whatever, over just bursts. But he doesn't run over the top, and he doesn't do that kind of stuff. He hasn't done it for a while. He tends to just sit more central. Maybe that's Southgate's thinking, but I don't know.
It's that
the Holland game. Run to the wings. Yeah.
The Holland game this week, where he was playing literally in the other Dutch half. The Dutch were actually coming out, so it benefited England, and I think Spain will do exactly the same as well. I think was it last year or 2 years ago when I think England played Spain in a friendly and we absolutely battered them, and Kane was just doing the most Manchester City performance when you're playing for Tottenham, where he was playing the perfect link-up man, playing that ball straight through the heart of the defence of the Spanish national side.
That was the bad Spain side though. I have to say that. I remember that because that was in the period when they were really, really good. They just had a mediocre team. They know they've got a strong team. They've got a good playing team. They've got a good footballing team. The tiki-taka football type stuff is back. I like Nico Williams and I like Olmo. I think his pace wasn't even supposed to be there. And until somebody got injured or something, he wasn't even supposed to be playing most of the tournament. He's been one of the best players.
Almo's turned into Zidane this tournament.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant. So I mean, you can see that there was a player in there, but some of the movements he's making and some of the link-up play he's been doing has been fantastic. I just think your Mal with Nico Williams, Olmo in there, Ruiz has been great as well.
Yeah, so he's from PSG. I think he's from PSG.
Yeah, but it's but they've been really good. If anything, the defense is probably the most iffiest part of the team.
No,
but they tend to hold onto the ball long enough to not worry about that.
Normand, I don't know if you've seen a lot of him this tournament, Kev or Chas. I think he's faced with Real Sociedad, I think it is.
Yeah.
He's been interesting to watch as well. But you've got experience in and around that whole team. I think Danny Carvalho should be back tonight, Chas. But there's just so much experience throughout that span. As Kev said, it's one thing playing against the Dutch side, but in terms of from a technical point of view, it could be 20, 30 minutes into the game when we're 2-0 down. Hopefully that is not the case. I'd like England to win it, but I'm not really too asked if we do or we don't. But yeah, could you imagine if Trent scores the winner? If England do go on to win it, and it shuts everyone up.
I'll be honest, exactly.
It would make Trent the greatest ever English right back, and then he would eventually get the flowers from all the rival fans. Well, it is what it is. I'm not after it. Yeah, we're not.
I already know in my heart to heart that Trent should be one of the best England bombing right backs and things ever. But
even Gravenberch were literally like that. Like after the Dutch game, they're like, our both was not getting on the pitch. I don't know. But two frauds of a manager anyway, even in the Dutch national side anyway.
I agree with Gary there. I take Olmo and Williams as well. I love Williams. Williams would be a great player.
And dare I say it, Ollie Watkins.
I would, but I said it, Jack, weeks ago. We were talking about the tournament, and I said, how is Kane? We were in chat and we were saying, I said, Watkins should be coming on with at least 65, 67 minutes and watch him do damage. He scored 2 goals in that period of time. You put him on for a whole game for England, you mightn't do much, you might get into the feel of the game. But if the game is already in flow and he knows what his job is when he comes on, straight off, instead of trying to feel out a team and they can see how the team's playing, he's lethal then. And you could see that straight away, dude. I mean, that was a phenomenal goal for him against the Dutch the other day.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Chat. Enjoy it. Drink responsibly. If you're having a cup of tea or whatnot, whatever your beverage you're having. The heavy water that some of you might be on tonight. Drinking your Spanish beverages, your English beverages. As I said, everyone, if you are going out and about tonight, look after yourself, look after one another. And just enjoy it. It's a game of football. Don't go too mad. And
lads, if you lose, please lose gracefully.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, be respectful of wherever you're at. And going to work tomorrow as well. It's only a game of football. It's not like Liverpool winning a European Cup or the league. Like, fair enough, but go into work tomorrow. Go on. Crack on. But Kev, massive thank you for coming on. Kev comes in here. Not in hide. No.
No. I do watch along, Carl. You know me. I've been it is gigging season for me. So I'm in the middle of all of these festivals and back and forth. So it's a good thing that my job peaks when Liverpool aren't on the TV. So if Ireland were playing on this tournament, I said last time around. By the way, really random management appointment for Ireland. It's just what's his name? Helmanson something. Apparently he was playing golf with one of the guys from the FAI, which is like our ERFA over here, and the Football Association of Ireland, and he offered him the job. He's been in charge of is it Iceland? He's Icelandic, I think. So he's the Ireland manager. Hang on, we look Helmanson.
Just sounds like a Heinz ketchup or something.
I don't know what. Like he came, nobody knew it was coming. It just popped up on the website. There wasn't even a story done about it. It's Heimer Hallgrimsson is what his name is.
I'd have
And
difficulty spelling that out being dyslexic, but we move.
yeah, he's the ex Iceland boss that took, you know, when Iceland were doing well there in the tournament.
Do not get me on countdown to try and pronounce that.
He actually did good. He did some good football with Iceland. In fairness, like that's when everybody realized that thing.
England, didn't he?
Yeah. So that's, you know, there you go. But I think that's our next game coming up, isn't it? Ireland v England. I don't know.
Gary's saying he's adores Watkins.
Yeah,
Yours, mate. Isn't a game of football. Listen to yes. Charlie, every single one is big up to Jen for the super chat as well. Everest as well. Big up to trying to shout out everyone else here that I have missed a comment. I do apologise. But me and Kev,
I agree with Charlie. Everybody should be godless.
Yeah, 100%. The 6:30, we should be live tomorrow. Keep an eye on the shows. If you don't get your notifications as well, have a lovely evening. Going to work, smash it this weekend. And we go again. Everyone goes again tomorrow. And look after yourself, Kev. Massive thank you for coming on, as always. You can find Kev on Spider LFC and, of course, on the Kitmen as well. And obviously, Spidey Gaming on Twitch as well.
Irish Spider Guy.
Irish Spider Guy. There we go. Sorry that. But yeah, once this game is done tonight, we can just fully focus on it. Even though the majority of us are focusing on Liverpool, but it's when the proper football starts playing anyway.
Butoros Scali.
There we go.
Butoros Scali.